go. And there we are. We're off. I'll let you take the floor, Alan.
Excellent. Welcome, everybody. Today we're going to be looking at the mastering the art of inviting guests and managing host logins on the BeeVirtual platform with BeeKonnected. Now, whether you're a seasoned user or a newcomer to this cutting-edge virtual platform, this event will equip you with the skills and knowledge needed to seamlessly navigate BeeVirtual and enhance your networking and collaboration experience. Now, today, I'm your co-host, Alan Stevens. I'm an international profile and communication specialist, but I'm here today with a good friend of mine, Joanne Brooks, who is a thought leader supporting business owners to navigate through their business. She's been navigating with over 2 decades as an entrepreneur. Joanne has owned 16 companies across 10 different industries. One company she built to $30 million turnover in 24 months. She launched her Navigate 8 business in 2017 and has published over 250 videos of content on the Nav 8. I always have trouble with that because it's NAVIG 8 and then Biz. So Nav 8 Biz YouTube channel across sales, marketing, HR, strategies, mindset, and finance, with one goal to share what she has learned so that others can avoid the pitfalls she experienced in achieving success with less obstacles. And that's what we're here today. Joanne is going to show you how to work through this without going through the trouble of trying to find your own way around it. So thank you very much for being here, Joanne, and running this event for us.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much. That's really lovely. Lovely to hear those words, and it's always lovely to catch up with Alan. And I'm excited to share this with you. So I'm going to jump in and out of some slides and to show you some information. But the first one is really, what are we doing? We're mastering guest invitations and post logins. So that's what we're going to jump into. Tips and tricks. So what I want to call. I'm going to create a series of these. So it was great that I was invited to present this to everybody. So trusting that this webinar will give you what you need to create easily your host logins and your invitations. So let's jump in. I think the first question we should be asking ourselves, why do we have a co-host? You know, we're all very familiar with doing this, you know, the dreaded Zoom, Teams, Google Meet, and now the wonderful BeeKonnected platform. But let's really just share and chat about, why do we have a co-host? Well, it's great because it introduces myself or the speaker as a host, which Alan has just done. It builds our credibility because what we need to understand is we're going to be, oh, look, I haven't hit start streaming. Silly me. Let me go do that. Start streaming. That rookie error, hey? There we go. Let me just do that to make sure that we get this out to where it needs to be. Lose choose. Well, okay, that should have done that before. So I'm going to go back so we can start again and make sure that those people are out there can hear everything I've got to say. Which is, sorry, we're going to bear with me for a second. This thing it's now going. Great. I'm going to go back to this and I'm going to sort of start this again. I'm sorry, everybody who's now watching this live streaming is not going to get my introduction from Alan, but there is a recording. We'll share it. So this is about mastering guest invitations and host logins. I'm going to share with you in a fairly short tips and tricks webinar about how to set that up to be the most effective in regards to your webinars and meetings and events. So let's talk about, why do you need a co-host? Why do BeeKonnected talk about having a co-host with you when you're presenting your webinar? So I think that's an important piece. No point me just showing you how to do this. But let's talk about why. Like, there's always you need to have a why sitting behind it. They're going to introduce you as a host. It builds your credibility because now that we're live streaming this, there are going to be people who have no idea who I am, no idea who you are as a host. So you want somebody to edify you, validate you, provide evidence and support that you have an expertise that you're sharing. Sure, there's some logistics here, assisting with chat, managing the guests. What I love is that the co-host can dive in and share their point of view while you're delivering your event or your webinar. As I said, validation. And, you know, the other piece that's really lovely is furthering your connections with the people within the BeeKonnected network, because this is about connections. This is about getting to know people. And what better way to do that is to co-host with others to present their webinar. So it shouldn't be a one-way street, right? I have co-hosted one of Alan's. Alan's now co-hosting one of mine, and it should be a two-way street. So offer yourself to co-host with others who are the presenter, as Alan was the other day, and now I am, so Alan is supporting me. It's just another way to build that connection, like know and trust piece that sits with building networks, wherever you are. So I'm sure we've all heard that before. So that's one reason why. The other one is why guest logins. Well, hey, we want people to attend our webinars, right? And there's lots of different ways to do that. And, this is a great place for me to really reiterate what BeeKonnected is all about. It's about connections. It's about networking. It's about building your business. It is about sharing your genius. And I do use that terminology because, we all have our own expertise. We all have a service or an offering or a business that we operate, often the people who are using this. And so it's about sharing your genius to build a network, to build your business. It's about communication. It's about creating a passive income. And that's another topic for another webinar. And there's so much more to it. So you want to create these events, create these webinars, and you want to get it out there so that your audience can hear all about what you do and to build your business. And so, these are the two whys. So let's jump into the hows now. So step one. So there are a number of you, I know the people who are on this meeting now are already users of BeeKonnected, but let's say we've got some people watching this webinar today, this live streaming, who've not actually set up their profile, etc. in BeeKonnected. So the first step, if you haven't already done it, sign in, click on shows, and sign up for the BeeVirtual meeting. So you can see, I know it's small, and I will be giving you a PDF of all these slides at the end, the opportunity to download it. But this little button here says BeeVirtual meeting. So let's just quickly tap into that, because Meetin is the actual platform that BeeKonnected uses to be able to deliver these amazing, streamlined, slick looking webinars like that. I have not seen a platform that looks so professional and so engaging and so interactive for all the users. So when you click on that, you do need to sign and register with Meetin. One very important thing, only choose, if you haven't done this yet, only choose the free option when you get taken to that Meetin platform. And it's a simple thing, name, address, email, those sort of things, really simple stuff. So click on that, make sure that you've signed up in Meetin first, because none of this will work unless you've done that. So then there's a simple step to number two. You need to create your group. So to be able to do what I needed to do to create this webinar, I needed to make sure that I connected it to the group. Now, sign in. If you're going to create a group, you do need to be a pro or platinum member. Free will get you a lot of benefits, but going up to the next level is where you need to take it to be able to do these types of webinars. Click on the group in the button there, create your group. Now, again, that's going to be another webinar. This is the purpose of just sharing you how to do the co-host and invites. And so we will cover that in another webinar, but it's fairly simple, self-explanatory. And as always, on all BeeKonnected areas on their platform, there's lots of videos of how to do things. So rest assured, there's lots of support. And of course, myself, all the coaches that are here, there's Alan, there's Brad and Cheryl watching at the moment. We are all coaches. We can help you to do that. And so these are the two really critical pieces that you need to make sure you have set up first before you can set up your event or your show. So let's create the event. Now I've got event here, but this button here actually says show. Now, one of the new things that I saw the other day when I was going through this and setting up this webinar, there's some lovely new buttons sitting here that I'd not noticed before. And BeeKonnected is continuing to upgrade, to improve its functionality and the ease of use. So if you even want to skip the slide before and you come to the shows, this little button here says create group. This little button says create event. So that's pretty neat. It's all in one spot. You don't have to jump out. So again, you need to create your event. Fairly simple, like everything in BeeKonnected. No, it's just following the empty boxes with your tab key and filling it in. You have to have ready, what are we going to call it? What's the event about? When are you going to deliver it, etc. So normal stuff. We're all used to that when we're setting it up in Zoom or we're setting it up in the other competitor platforms. So this process is is, I would say to you, seamless, even easier is the words I'm trying to get out of my mouth here. So you need to create your show or your event. Then we can get into the nitty-gritty of the crux of this particular webinar. So you need to secure your co-host. So you click on groups, find the relevant group that you're connecting the event, you've connected the event to, and you'll see all the members sitting there. You can then click on and make one of those members a co-host. Now, I've just given you a little example. A lovely friend of mine, Kyle Sides, is in my group. And if I wanted to make him a co-host of this event, for example, I would click on that button. But what I did was I clicked on Alan's. What I do recommend you do, just for politeness sake, how about you give them a call first, send them a message and say, hey, I've got an event. Would you be willing, be able, are you available to co-host with me? And that's what I did with Alan. We sent a message through and say, hey, would you be up for that? And he very generously said yes. So this is a really simple process. Go to your groups, find the members of the group and think about who would you love to be connected with. Now, I'm going to go through my membership in my groups, and I'm going to invite every person who's in that, so that I'm not always using Alan because he's going to get really busy. I'm not always going to use Kyle. I'm going to mix it up a bit. But I always, as I've done with Alan, I will always say, if you need me to co-host, just holler. I'm happy to jump in. Because for me, it helps me to build connection with other people who attend the other webinars. I can see those people. I can see what they're talking about, how they're chatting. But it also is building my capability in using the platform from a perspective of a co-host to a host, because it's a little bit different from one to the other. So that's a pretty simple way of nominating or securing your co-host. And then we need to think about, well, how are we going to get this message out to our contacts? So we go into events, we go to the event profile, which is just clicking on it. And you can see here it says event profile. This is the exact profile of this particular webinar that we're doing. And the awesome thing is, BeeKonnected again are making it incredibly easy. We've got some text here, we can copy it, and literally we can click on each of these buttons to share it across our social platforms. Of course, you can click that and then create an electronic mail out, an email, if you will. And so what it looks like is this. So this is what I did to share this event through LinkedIn and Facebook. I simply grabbed a copy of that text, clicked on the LinkedIn button. It took me directly to my LinkedIn. I put a little message there and posted it. Did the same for Facebook and posted it. The other awesome thing about having your contacts or people that you don't even know to be aware of your event, every time we log in, our homepage looks like this. So that's my profile. We can see all the amazing posts that are coming through, but we can also see all the events coming up in the next few days. So when I did this the other day, mine wasn't there, but I didn't think that really mattered so much, because you can actually click on a button to see all. And you can then, as a user of BeeKonnected, can click on any of these events to attend. Even if you're a free user, you can attend any of these events, which is absolutely amazing. So I even did grab that text and I created an email series and sent it out to my entire database as well. And I will continue to do that. So the more people that you can share across your contacts, whether it's through your social channels, through your CRM, your customer relationship management system, or even, just sharing it in a post in BeeKonnected, the more people who know that you've got an event on, and I know we get offered a lot. So, you need to think about, how am I going to talk about it? What's the hook? What's the information we want to share, so that we can gain people's interest to lock it in? What I've realized is, there's going to be a series of webinars that I want to do. Let's say the orientation ones, or even this. Think about also, we've got an audience that's around the world. So we need to make sure that the timing is going to work for them as well. So, I'm over here in Australia. We've got some participants watching this from the US. So think about, is it viable for you to do one, say, early in the morning, which it is now, or do one in the middle of the day, or even do one in the evening? So that's the rhythm that I'm going to do, is I'm going to share it, but there's probably going to be three instances of each webinar, so that I can get that message out, and I'll spread it out. We've got to be mindful of our time. We've got to be mindful and respectful of the participants' times. But the awesome thing is, these get recorded, and we can share them with people who register. So sharing to your contacts is super, super simple. They make it easy. As with everything on BeeKonnected, it's not difficult to share. So What we need to do, we've created the meeting profile, we've set up our group, we've created the event, we've organized our co-hosts, we've shared it with everybody. Now there's a couple little bit of tweaks we need to do in the actual webinar setup. So go to your webinar URL. So as a user, we all get one. And I've just popped mine in there just for the perspective of what it looks like. So we all get our own. Please click on that link and go to host. Don't log in as a guest, go to host, which is the orange button down below. And then we're going to do a little bit of tweaking on the menu. So I know this is small, but trusting that when you get the opportunity to download this, you'll be able to see it very clearly. Click on menu and then go to select webinar settings. So it's the blue item there. And we just need to do a couple of little tweaks. You can obviously take a screenshot of that, but there are two absolute musts for this to be a live stream and to be a functioning and a good customer experience for a webinar. Please make sure you hide the chat for guests, which is this one, and large event mode is turned on, because if you don't do that, we can't live stream, which is a bit of a problem. And that's the purpose of doing these webinars. We want to get them out to the wider audience across the entire BeeKonnected platform. So those are the two tweaks. I do recommend you do it, like it does suggest, like you can just do it just before you jump in. Me, a little bit of a control freak. I went and did it a few days ago to make sure that it was all set up for this particular webinar, to make sure that there was no hiccups along the way. So that make sure that you fix those little checkboxes to turn on, hide chat and large event mode. These are the other ones that I've set up, but those are an absolute must. You can do the others as you see fit, as it works for you, as you want the experience to be for your participants. And then you can share it. So there's another spot in the menu item, which is invite people. So they make it really easy for us to share, right? So we don't have to jump out of this thing and go and share through the main login. Because you're in the webinar, they're giving you the ability to grab some snippets and share it elsewhere. So you can then click on the menu, copy any of those options that you want, send it by an EDM, which is an electronic mail out, social post, you can do it by text message, and then you can close it. So, there's lots of ways. What I love about BeeKonnected is to do one thing, you can do it in many places, which makes it super, super easy. I do appreciate that sometimes you go, oh, I saw that somewhere. Where was it? That's the importance of these webinars, so that you can get the insights as to where they are. And of course, you get the recording, then you'll get the buttons to download everything. Where can I see the replay of this so I can jump? Yes, Lucia, we will make sure that we get that to you, and I will share with you. But it will actually be, I'll make sure that it goes to all of you. So thank you for saying that. It's awesome. I do appreciate that. We will make sure that we get it to you and pop it in the chat to you. No problem at all. No worries. My pleasure. So that is pretty much it. This was a speed, it's a bit like a speed dating, but a speed webinar. Questions, anything that you want to ask or etc. from me or Alan, we're going to turn off those. But what I am going to share with you is the buttons. So the buttons are important so that you can download the PDF. So you can see the gold one is to catch up with me. That's my calendar. If you want to just catch up, it's a 15-minute meeting. Any of the participants, anybody that was watching the recording, click on that and you'll go to my calendar. If you're not a user and you're watching this on a stream, go and sign up. But the most important one, get your slide deck. Click on that. It'll give you the PDF of everything that you need. And thank you for putting that in, Alan. Thank you. So that's me. I feel as though I've spoken at a fast pace and done this very, very quickly, but trusting, given that you'll have the slide deck, you can go back to it, you can expand it so you can make it a little bit bigger and see what all the little bits on those screens. But trusting that has given you the insight of how easy it is to set up a co-host and send out your invites to everybody who needs to know about your webinar. I'm going to be quiet now, grab a quick drink of water and wait for any questions. Or Alan, you got anything to add to that?
Yeah, I will jump in there. One of the things I love about every time I go to one of these events, no matter how much I've learned, there's always something new that I've learned as well. So I picked up a couple of points today. One of the things is with the bars that we've got on at the moment, the buttons there, one issue will be that they're live here right now, but in the recording, they won't be. So this is where you'd use your co-host to grab those links and put them in the chat box as well, so that when this goes out live in the Hive as a replay, the chat box, anything you've got in there, with any links, they're hot. So people click on them, they can get them. So just remember that side of it. And the thing is that once this is finished, we download the video, we put it either into a Vimeo platform or a YouTube, and then we put that link back into the into that event and change it to a replay. So once that's done, it usually takes about half an hour, depending on what work we've got on our plates at the time. You got to come back in on the same link again a little bit later on. You'll be able to see that comes up and also have the button that says replay, not just go to the event. It'll be replayed. You click on that, you'll have all of what we've had here on the screen today.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Lucy, I know that you've left, but Brad, or we clicked on the link you just posted and said we didn't. What does that mean? Have access.
Didn't have access. Yeah.
Rightio. Let me have a look. I'll quickly go to that.
Yeah.
It comes up for me. Did it come up for you, Alan? I'm assuming it did because
no, it's come up here and it says you need access. So by just putting a message in that Google Drive message box and hit the request, that way then Joanne will get it and she's able to then just give you access and you'll be able to download it. So it's one way of protecting the files in Google Drive, so not, predators can't get in there and hackers can't get it. But it also knows that Joanne knows, well, people have actually downloaded. So the fact that we put stuff together, our passion is to know that people use it.
Yeah.
Too often we put stuff together and it goes out to the ether and nothing happens. It gives me always a warm feeling that I've been able to help somebody and have that indication that somebody's gone in and got it. It's really wonderful.
Yeah, no, that's nice. Thank you for that. I'll make sure that you've got access to that as soon as I see that come through. So appreciate that. But any other questions? Otherwise, look, I'm very happy to call it a day. And thank you for attending. And for those of you who are watching the recording, reach out, connect. Let's see how we can get you going on the BeeKonnected platform more efficiently.
Thanks, everyone.